Hello guys, welcome back to the channel Multicode. So today we will talking about the new modules in our course, that is function. So what is function? Function are set of statements that do a particular task. So today we will be defining a one function that prints Fibonacci series. What is Fibonacci series? Is like it is a series which have the next term the sum of last two terms, like 1 plus 1 will gives the number 2, 1 plus 2 will gives the next number 3, 2 plus 3 will give the next number 5, and so on. So what you can observe is that n plus 2th term is equal to n plus 1 term plus nth term. This you can have like logic over here, and let me have this as a comment part. So that it doesn't affect our program. So to comment anything in your code, just put it in a in double slash after double slash, so it won't affect your program. So let us start with our programming now. So for programming, what you need to do is like first have the function declaration. So let me have the function declaration. First you need to have the void, the return type of the function, then function name like Fibo let me have, and the argument what you need to pass. So for today we will be having the input from the user. So for that let me have the like int as an argument, and let me have like n as a variable. Now we need to have like declaration of variable n. You need to declare over here. Now to have the input of this variable, first let us printf the enter the value, and then have like scanf, and inside that %d, and don't forget to mention this ampersand sign and then variable name, so that it takes the value in a proper way. Ampersand declares the address of that particular variable. Now you need to call this function. So Fibo, you are calling this function and then passing the value of n. So n has been passed. Now this is called function calling. So let me have the comment. Function calling. Now let me have the function definition. So for function definition, let me copy this declaration part. This helps you to avoid spelling mistakes. Let me have the same variable. Now this variable is now local variable because it's using inside a particular function. Now let me have two more variables for first two values and declare it with the starting values like int a and int b equal to 1, and then we have to like have a third variable so that it says the sum of the two variables. So now what you have to do is to start a loop so that you can have like addition of the last two values and print. So for that we have like variable I. Let me start the loop I equal to 0, and you need to make sure like if you input 5 value, you want the 5 values in the series, you have two values already over here, and then you need only three values, so you need to have like whatever the number you input, 2 less than that, so n minus 2, right? N minus 2, and then I plus plus. What over here you need to do is c equal to a plus b, and then print f percentage d and the value of c. Now over here, let me copy this. Over here you need to print this value of a and b also for the starting values. So these are two also integers, so percent d for both. And then after this you need to swap the values, because after running the one loop you need to replace the value of 1 with the next one, and the third value with this, means the value of a should become the second value and value of b should become the third value, and so on for the rest of the loop. So how you can do is like a equal to b, so whatever the value b is having now will be saved in a, and whatever the value c is having should be saved in b. So that's it. I guess this should run the program. Save this and run the program. And yeah, it's asking for your value, like if you give the value 5, it's printing the exact 5 numbers in the series. So now let me have like some different input, like 10 as an input, so I have a bigger series. So yeah, you can see like for the next 10, last two terms have been added and it's been showed on the next term. So now for let me explain much more about the function. So what we have already talked about the declaration, calling, and the definition of the function. The one which we pass inside the parentheses are called the arguments of the function. This can be anything, whatever the data type you want, and the number of argument might differs as well. And this is the return type void. Here you can have integer return type, float return type, string return type, whatever the return type you want. Like here, if you want something to return, like return some value, then you can return that value to the wherever you want to call this function. So right now we should like run this program in C++ as well. So for that you don't need to have like much more changes. So I guess copy this program and print it over here, and what changes you require is like, let us use the C++ format cout, and scanf. Here you can have like different function for that, cin, and directly you need to give the variable. You need not to specify percentage %d or something like that. And printing as well, you can like directly use cout, and then you want the space between a and b, so give the space, and then b you want over, and then value of c you want to print, and rest all part remains the same. I guess no need to change that. Okay. I guess without the declaration also the function should run. It might show error, yeah, because you doesn't define that for a function. If you don't want to declare the function, you can define the function above that particular function as well. Control X, and you can have like definition before that void main function. I guess now it should work. So yeah, it's now working, and if you check with the value of 6, and so it's printing the value correctly. So to skip the declaration part, some of times we define the main function at the last, so you need not to declare that function and at the top. And so now we should run this program in Java. So for Java you have some different things you need to take care of, so let us see that part. So let me start. So it's showing a lot of errors over here because we can't have this cout in this. So firstly we need to have like access modifier over here, so let us have this as a public only, so that we can call from that different function, and static, so that we need not to have like a object for it. What is object and all, we will be talking about that in later videos. For now let us change the format in Java, like what the format we want is system.out.println, and here now there is not on that line. System.out.println, and now error should go from this line as well. Rest all part remains the same, and make sure you have like right number of curly braces. Okay, this function is there, and you can format it also. So yeah, here over format is there, so it will be formatted so that you can see the errors and whatever the mistake you are doing easily. Now for to have the input in Java, what we have like scanner class. So to have the scanner class, just put scan and control spaces will give you the scanner class name, and declare some variable for it as C. You need to have used this new keyword for it to have like object for it. Object we told you we will be talking about it, and inside that that you need to have like system.in, so that it takes the input from the keyboard, and you can use this variable to have like input next, and you need the integer, and you need to save this value in some variable like n, and you have saved this value. Now what is the error? You have static. Okay, this is Fibo. Now none of the errors are been there, so I guess the program should run correctly. Save the program and run. So it's running. It's asking for your input. Let me have the input 5. Okay, now what the error is there is like you are printing in the different lines and you don't have anything that states that some input you want there. So let me have the system dot out dot println, and inside the enter some value, and then save this and don't use println, and over here also don't use println, so it will print on the same line. Save this program, run it again. Now it's giving the statement, and now if you put the value, it's printing on the same line what the output we want in that fashion. Now this is what you need in Java. Now if you want this in C#, then it's approximately the same. Just copy this function and use it in C#. Like after this void main function, you need to print this, and I guess you no need to declare the access modifier over here. You have the class over here. For the namespace, one bracket has been missing, that's why it's showing error. So that as error has been resolved. System dot, here you have the console, so let me have that console dot write, and you can use that same thing, and again over here you can have like console dot write, and now you need to call this value. So let me have like Fibo, and first let us check with some default value, then we will have the input over here also, and here do system console dot read line, so that we have like stable input. So it's a project, so it takes some more time. So for here we have to like convert the string values to integer, because by default whatever the input you will give will be taken as. So now it's printing the correct series for us. Now to have like the input from the console in the C#, you need to have like firstly declare the variable in n. So now to use this variable, use int is 16 or 32, whatever you want. So let me have like 32 dot parse. You need to parse the value, and you need what console dot write line function, because it will get you some value and you need to convert that value. Okay, what is showing? So here it's showing some error. So now what you need to do is like convert. So convert dot to int 32. So like 2 int 16 or 32, whatever you want, and then sorry, we should have like read line over here. So read line And now I guess everything will work fine, and you need to pass this value while calling the function. So here you have passed, and now save the function and restart the program again. Now it's asking for your input, so let us have the input like 6, so it's printing the series up to 6. So the last part, let us print something. Console dot write. Okay, so what you can see is that almost the syntax remains the same, but some of the things you need to make sure so that you get the correct output in different languages. So let me have like last run for this program. So let me have like 8 as the value, and it's printing the 8 numbers, and for 8 numbers. So what you can see is that here almost the function remains the same as that in Java, C++, and C programs remains approximately the same, and Java and C# remains almost the same because they are object-based language and those are procedural oriented languages. C is basically a procedural oriented language. So, and what else you need to know about the function? Here now let us talk something about the object now. So let me give the basics of it. Like objects are somewhat the model, like you can have the blueprint. Let us take an example, like the car is there, blueprint of that is being made so that it can be utilized for various different cars. The blueprint is not being changed, but the car models are being originated from that. So object can be a model for that, and blueprint is called the car, or the car remains the same as that a class. So the class remains the same, the object we can have like multiple objects for that. So here this SC is the object for the scanf class. We use that object for having the different functions from that is being implemented in that particular class. So for now we use that SC scanf class for input function, and later on we'll be talking about lot more classes. This is what we will be talking about the functions right now for all the different languages. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you like this video. Make sure you subscribe on the channel and click on the like button if you want, if you like this video. Thank you.